All right, Jade, thanks. To borrow a phrase from our friend Jim Harbaugh, who's got it better than we do here in College Station on Thanksgiving Day? Our host, Emily, has let us sort of sit in on her tailgate. We got turkey, we got sweet potatoes. Might have to save the adult beverage till after the game, but
one of the great environments in all of college football on Thanksgiving. When you think about this, the tradition they have here at Texas A&M, all those years they used to play Texas, now it's LSU. So many fans have turned out. One of the great tailgating scenes in the entire country. Couldn't be a better place for us to be at right now on this day.
Yeah, so all the trimmings and then a football game that's really fascinating because you got two teams that are trying desperately to answer some big picture questions to finish the season well. We'll start with LSU, the disappointment of last week against Florida. Can they bounce back today?
It's a gut-wrenching loss they had to the Gators. They've now lost 2 of their last 3 games. It really hurt their chances of playing in the Sugar Bowl, and they're in this game a little bit banged up. They're going to be without Leonard Fournette at running back because of injury, and their leading tackler on defense, linebacker Beckwith, also because of injury, but they've got a great backup running back in Darius Guice. And one thing the Tigers have always done well against the Aggies since the Aggies joined the SEC, the Tigers have been able to run the ball on them. The Tigers still have one of the best defenses in the entire country, so they're here trying to finish strong, and they have a reason to play hard.
And Texas A&M, they're trying to avoid a season-ending swoon, is a word you hear around here a lot. I think some optimism for the Aggies, though they may have their quarterback back today.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to play for if they're them. You talked about Trevor Knight. He's been injured, went out against Mississippi State a few weeks back, but he provides big play capability. Certainly gives his team a lot of confidence and obviously experience, leadership, and a command of that offense. But his ability running the football could be huge today if, in fact, Trevor Knight's able to go. There's a lot to play for if you're the Aggies. A chance at a 10-win season, maybe a berth in the Sugar Bowl as well. It's going to be a great environment here tonight for a great tilt in the SEC West.
Can't wait for the game. Time to have a little turkey. Zubin, Jade, we'll head over to the stadium and get ready. Back to you.
Well, Zubin, when Trevor Knight got injured earlier this season, best case scenario supposedly was that he would return for the bowl game, but he's out here warming up tonight ahead of this LSU game. Now, we haven't really seen him unleash the football yet and throw it as hard as he can. With his shoulder injury, the AC separation, the most painful thing is throwing deep balls. They're trying to keep him as warm as possible, and team doctors tell me they'll continue to monitor him through warm-ups to decide whether or not he can go in this game. We don't have confirmation if he will start or not. Now, it's a situation, too, where you can just see the way this team rallies around Trevor Knight. The energy out here has been incredible for this A&M offense, having their leader back. And then on the LSU side of things, Coach O, ahead of the game, said they're taking the idea that Trevor Knight could play very seriously. They've had to adjust their entire defensive game plan because he said they can't let Knight run on them, and they especially can't let him run on them north and south.
And the matchup, the LSU Tigers on the road to take on the Aggies of Texas A&M. From Kyle Field on this spectacular Thursday, you're watching the SEC on ESPN. On Thanksgiving night in College Station, senior night for the quarterback Trevor Knight and the A&M Aggies, and it sure looks like he's getting ready to play here against LSU. Let's try to find out for sure. Laura Rutledge down the field, standing by with the A&M head coach Kevin Sumlin.
All right, thanks, Dave. And Coach, we saw Trevor Knight warming up. What is your plan at the quarterback position tonight?
Well, he said he feels good. Doctors cleared him, so we're going to go with it.
He's going to start.
He's going to start.
And then what's your plan after that if Trevor Knight couldn't stay in this entire game?
Jake's fine, too. So we got everybody. We're ready to roll.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, Laura, thanks. And the head coach confirms it. A&M, as you said just a moment ago, Jesse, is a different team with Trevor. You see the energy, the enthusiasm, the bounce on the sidelines. They're a different team than the quarterback.
Dave, he was so amped up on the field pregame. I watched him. He was sprinting around. He was screaming, yelling. He was running routes, a wide receiver catching balls. You just know he wanted to play. This being senior night, you can see the juice and the energy he gives this Texas A&M sideline.
So here we go on Thanksgiving night. And the kickoff for A&M deep with Guice in the end zone. Watches it go over his head. It's a touchback, and the Tigers offense will come out on the field without Leonard Fournette, but he's not the only one missing for LSU.
Yeah, these aren't just guys. These are dudes and difference makers. Leonard Fournette's going to be the first running back taken in the NFL draft. Traven Durrell is one of the better deep threats in the SEC. Arden Key and Kendall Beckwith are first-team All-SEC caliber players, really the heart and soul in the middle of that LSU defense. Good news is, though, this is LSU. They always recruit extremely well. There are more players today in the NFL than any other college football program. from LSU, so some backups are going to have to play, and they're going to have to deal with guys like Myles Garrett from Texas A&M.
Yeah, now Myles Garrett has been so banged up all year. Last week he looked healthy and he was a terror for A&M. So we'll see here this week against LSU. Big hole on first down for Guice with the nice gain on the ground, and LSU you figure is going to need to do a lot of that tonight.
Look at Danny Etling here. I've really been impressed watching him play. Transfer from Purdue there where he had 12 starts. And he's a guy that I really think just operates in this offense. He's been decisive with the footballs, made good decisions, does a really good job moving around the pocket. And I like that he throws a very catchable ball, gives his receivers an opportunity to advance it, catch it easily.
19-yard gain on first down on the ground for the Tigers. Guice will get it for a second straight time. This time much less room to maneuver.
Isaiah Coven-Henderson, number 92, the inside of that defensive line. He's been a monster all season long for Texas A&M. I think that's what gives this defense, I think, a little bit of confidence. Years past, they haven't been as good against the run. This year, though, with the way they played on the inside of that D-line, I think they feel like they can slow down LSU from running.
Moving the ball in the middle of the field was not the problem for LSU last week. They moved it pretty decisively against a good Florida defense. They just did not take advantage of their scoring chances. Etling's going to throw for the first time, and that short pass in the left flat caught for another LSU first down. Tight end Deshaun Smith. And their defense, LSU's defense, has been tremendous this year, and that's really a big part of the story. The defense has done its part. The offense has not been as good as it's needed to be, especially in big games, allowing just 13 points per game, third best in the FBS. And their interim head coach, Ed Orgeron, who wants so badly to be the head coach at LSU. Guice, another good gain and broken tackles. Guice out into the open, breaks another one, and he will score. .45 yards with a bunch of broken tackles along the way for Darius Guice.
Darius Guice just has this natural ability to make people miss. He's been a home run threat all season long. That's why he was averaging 8 yards a carry coming into this one. It is very, very rare that you can find running backs that are about 6 feet tall who can break tackles but also have that game-changing speed. That's why I said LSU, they've got 2 of them with Leonard Fournette and Darius Guice. Nice to have depth at that position without Fournette.
And an A&M player, that's Justin Evans, jumped right over the line before the ball was snapped.
Offside, defense, number 14, penalties refused. We'll have to try.
And Evans maybe looking to make up for, I think he was one of the guys that Guice got free from on that long touchdown run.
Trying that Zach Cunningham jump move that we saw when Vandy almost beat Auburn. Remember that late in the game with the field goal. Nice athleticism, just a little too early.
Colby Delahousse for the point after. What a start for LSU. The kick is up and it is good. No Leonard Fournette, and yet for Coach O and his LSU offense right down the field. No red zone problems. They never were in the red zone. Guice just went right through.
Nice wham block here by Colin Jeter. They're going to let the defensive tackle come free, but he gets picked off by the tight end. That sets up a big hold. Nice blocking downfield, and just the power, the spin move, able to break tackles, breaks another 2, and then the speed to pull away. This is as talented a running back group, 1 through 4, as you're going to find in all of college football. Again, LSU, no mystery. They're trying to demoralize Texas A&M like they've done each of the last 4 seasons running the ball.
Cameron Gamble will kick it off. Justin Evans, the primary kick returner, will bring it out for the Aggies. And he sneaks through across the 30 out near the 35-yard line. Well, and I bet you a lot of folks here don't even know that Trevor Knight's going to start this game.
No, but they're certainly going to be happy when they see him jog out on the field. This guy brings a lot to the table for this offense. We talked about the leadership and the command of the offense, but the explosive run plays. You're going to see a lot of zone read books tonight. Also very experienced. The Oklahoma transfer has played in a lot of big games. This is his 25th start. Now, his accuracy has been a little bit up and down this year on deep passes, and he's going to have an opportunity against this defense that loves to play man coverage to fit some of those throws in. He's got to be deadly accurate when he goes downtown.
Keith Ford, the big power back for A&M, will start in the backfield for the Aggies. And he's going to get the ball. First carry of the game, and a nice gain across the 40 out to the 41.
You know, talking about Trevor Knight, I'm curious just to see how close to 100% he is. I watched him in pregame warmups, and I never saw him really step into a throw and let it loose. He looks like kind of like a pitcher warming up. He was taking his time, taking a little bit off the ball. I'm curious to see once he starts letting it go here, throwing, how much velocity he really has with that AC sprain in his throwing shoulder.
2nd and 5. He will hand the ball off to Ford once again. He gets tackled short of first down. For a little more on Trevor Knight, let's go down to Laura.
Well, Dave, Jesse's talking about the velocity that Trevor Knight could put on the ball. He told me the most pain occurs when he's throwing deep balls, and he really tries to make sure he's not forcing too much in warm-ups because he's trying to maintain as much strength as he can. He also has to keep his shoulder as warm as he possibly can throughout, guys.
All right, good info. And right away, a 3rd down test against this super tough LSU defense without a couple of their top linebackers, their top pass rusher.
This is where they miss Arden Key. He's one of the best 3rd down pass rushers in the entire country.
Big play guy for the Aggies in motion, and Knight will throw it for the first time. That was a nice delivery, and caught by Speedy Doyle. That's an Aggies first down.
Yeah, it looked like Speedy Doyle bobbled that a little bit. Peterson can take a look at this again, make sure he had complete continuous control all the way through the process. I think he did. I think he had complete control of that by the time the ball touched the ground. It's a good 3rd down conversion there, and that's got to help Trevor Knight's confidence. Your first throw, convert that first. Nice job.
But with Trevor Knight on the field, they have been so much of a different and better team. Kind of a running pass, and that was ruled as a pass, incomplete. Awkward looking play.
Yeah, that was very close to being a lateral and being treated as a fumble. Watch this again. They're trying to run zone read. It really becomes triple option, but Bauer stays home, takes the quarterback away, so Christian Kirk's acting as the pitch man. That was very close. That easily could have been ruled a fumble.
It would have cost the Aggies 5 yards or so, went out of bounds. Travion Williams, the true freshman, who's had a great year. Tailback on this 2nd series for A&M. 2nd down. Knight with time from the pocket, throws short middle. That one's incomplete. Intended for Reynolds. The hit after the ball sort of rolled away. The fans wanted a flag. No flag.
Didn't look, Dave, to me like Trevor Knight really had a lot of confidence when he let this throw go. When he's watching him drop back and look around, it's a little bit more violent and sudden. That throw kind of came out low and unsure. Big hit by Thomas Late. Now setting up 3rd and long. And LSU, they've been able to get home. They've got Duke Riley, their linebacker, lined up right over the safety again. He was the guy that got pressure on the last 3rd down.
Riley coming. The ball was fumbled by Knight. He gets away after picking it up off the bounce, and Trevor Knight uses those legs to get the first down.
Snap was off to the right. Trevor Knight couldn't handle it, but it took a good bounce, and this is exactly how you draw it up. This is why Trevor Knight is dangerous, his ability to create and extend. This offensive line hasn't always been great in pass protection, but because of Trevor Knight and his ability to escape and scramble, he's been able to avoid a lot of negative plays this year and turn them into positives.
Impressive rushing totals for Knight on the year. Williams in the backfield. They will give it to Travion Williams, who is the littler, faster tailback.
But what Texas A&M wants to do, they want to run the ball downhill at LSU. Because of their team speed on defense, you do not want to go east-west. I thought the Florida Gators last week did a really good job just lining up and running it right at LSU. Had some success. They were able to push them around a little bit up front, break some tackles in the 2nd level of that defense. And without Kendall Beckwith in the lineup for LSU, running downhill, that's a good plan.
2nd and 6. Kirk in the backfield. This one, another one of those borderline, was that forward or backwards. Kirk just barely got back to the line of scrimmage.
You see, that's where LSU, I think, is at their best on the perimeter. You try to push the ball out into space. I think you're playing right into LSU's hands. What a great matchup in this game, too, on these 3rd downs. A very good receiving core of Texas A&M versus what I think is one of the best secondaries in the country in LSU. Guys that can play man-to-man coverage. They have ball skills, long arms. They can be physical. Trevor Knight's going to have to throw the football into small windows under duress.
That last play was ruled a pass, and it went backwards for 1.5 yards, so it's 3rd down. Knight is going to throw deep, and Kirk is there in stride, caught, touchdown! Shoulder looked pretty good for Trevor Knight on that one.
LSU playing man-to-man coverage, but a great idea setting Christian Kirk in motion because it guaranteed him free access off the line of scrimmage, running the wheel route, a little bit of a stack release. He's able to get up behind the safety John Battle on the wheel route, and there was probably the first test for Trevor Knight, having to throw the football down the field. Talked about how his deep accuracy this year has been a little bit up and down. Pinpoint accurate on that touchdown pass there.
And that, you pointed it out, is a matchup that A&M will like. Kirk against a safety. Christian Kirk is one of the best big playmakers in college football. So the touchdown, now the point after try. Daniel Camera boots it through. And the Aggies falling behind early with an answer. Trevor Knight, a surprise on Thanksgiving, starting for A&M, and he's looking good.
Yeah, there was a bad snap on a third down. He was able to scoop up, get the first down. That helped set up this touchdown pass to Christian Kirk. Shoulder looking pretty good. We've got a good one here in Aggie land.
TAFC.
Nothing quite like the young leaders in college football. Here at College Station on Thanksgiving. A little louder inside Kyle Field. Packed house, home of the 12th man. SEC regular season finale for these two. Texas A&M with the answer. Defense got a stop, got good field position for the offense. Aggies took advantage and they've tied the game at 7. Guice watches it go over his head for a touchback. 2nd and 15. Miles Garrett blocked nicely, and that throw delivered perfectly. The big hit in the middle of the field by Justin Evans, but Chark held on to the ball.
Yeah, that's tough to do because Justin Evans is an absolute torpedo that loves to hit people. Going over the middle of the field, DJ Chark, 6'3", those long arms, had to climb the ladder and elevate to make this catch on the slant throw. Certainly hope that Evans is okay. We talked about this secondary already being banged up. Can't afford to lose him.
So we'll check on Evans when we come back. Big hit over the middle. So many great rivalries coming up tomorrow and Saturday. Tie game here in the SEC. A&M, LSU. It's 3rd and 2. Guice the tailback, and they fake it to him. They're going to throw to the tight end, wide open, caught for a first down, and now a face mask. The penalty flag will be thrown from behind. That's going to add on. Foster Moreau with the big gain on 3rd down.
Yeah, it was Larry Pryor at safety who's going to get called for the face mask. They lost their starting free safety, Armani Watts, against Ole Miss a few weeks ago. Pryor's played really well these last 2 weeks, but a bad
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 11.
You see everybody biting on the play action.
First down.
Again, LSU lining up in a run-heavy set. Everyone playing downhill to stop Darius Guice. And LSU able to come up with the explosive play. A nice throw by Danny Etling.
Oh, he picked the right tight end. Both of them were just totally wide open. Colin Jeter was there as well. So, with the 2 starting safeties at the moment out of the game, A&M's defense was a little confused. It's 1st and 10 in the part of the field where the Tigers really struggled last week. They have not been a great red zone team. Guice gets the handoff. Guice still going inside the 10 down to the 8.
Dave, they had 5 red zone possessions last week against the Gators. They came away with a touchdown and a field goal. That's all they got. Very poor execution up front, blocking, especially down inside the 6-yard line, especially on the goal line. That's one thing Coach Orgeron has really stressed to his guys. Better toughness, better discipline and execution up front on the offensive line down in this area of the field.
Malachi Dupree, the receiver who comes in motion. They're going to throw to Dupree. On that slant of the ball comes out incomplete. Looked like a good play on the ball by Priest Willis.
Yeah, the UCLA transfer. He's been dinged up a little bit here too. Missed their games against Mississippi State and Ole Miss, but he's got long arms. He's probably their best cover corner. This is a good throw here by Danny Etling. Nice anticipation, putting it right where his receiver Dupree can make the play, but a better job on the back end in coverage by Willis, now setting up 3rd and long.
It's not 3rd and goal. They can get a first down at the 2. Play clock is winding down, and the offensive line trying to tell Etling, we got to get the ball snapped. Delayed handoff. Guice will be tackled short of the first down. So again, just not quite organized in that part of the field.
Well, LSU's expecting A&M to pin their ears back and get upfield. That's why you like to run screen passes and draws, but just a better job of Texas A&M staying home, and it was Deshaun Hall off the edge, able to make the play, forcing a field goal attempt by Delahousie. Remember, the holder Groden, he muffed the snap last week against Florida, so this is no gimme necessarily.
When he's had a chance to kick it, he's been perfect from this distance. That one was hooked and good. So he just barely snuck it inside that left upright. Not pretty, but LSU will take the 3 points. Well, Etling's playing well so far. The LSU offense moving the ball down the field against the Aggies. How close was it? Oh, not a problem. Field goal good, 10-7 Tigers. Kickoff. And Evans, who is back in the game. That's good news for the Aggies on the kick return team, looking for a block. And Evans, dangerous return man in his own right, across the 30, pushed out of bounds around the 32. Let's go down to Lauren.
Well, Dave, when I talked to Coach Orgeron before the game, he told me that LSU completely bought into the rumors that Trevor Knight might start this game, so they had to switch up their defensive game plan. He said the biggest thing is you can't let Trevor Knight run on you, especially north and south, and he pointed to Alabama, saying Alabama's defense is so good, and Trevor Knight was able to have success running against them.
Yeah, Laura, it changes their game plan. If you were expecting Jake Hubenak to play, you weren't going to see as many zone read type plays, probably more run pass options, trying to spit the football outside quickly in the pass game. But now, without Arden Key on a short week, having to make that kind of change philosophically because of Trevor Knight, that's tough.
Ford gets the ball for a second straight time, and you see that power straight ahead. It wasn't a big hole there, and Ford got 5 yards.
This run defense for LSU is just different without Kendall Beckwith in the lineup because of his physical presence. He was 250 pounds. He was a guy that could shed offensive linemen and blocks off of them and make tackles, and there's no denying it. Against Florida, when he wasn't in the game, they were softer in the middle, and that's exactly where A&M's attacking right now.
Second down, and call it 6. Ford, nowhere to go that time, got stuffed and lost a yard, maybe 2. Duke Riley is playing a heck of a first quarter.
LSU has been so good at this weak linebacker position these last couple of years. Watch Duke Riley here in the athleticism, the instincts and anticipation. He beats the ball to the point at the line of scrimmage. You think about names like Quan Alexander and Debo Jones, guys that Duke Riley's had to wait behind. They pumped out NFL talent year after year at that weak side linebacker spot. Defensive coordinator Dave Aranda doing a great job coaching them up.
3rd and 8. A&M's been very good on 3rd down in this first quarter. 3 of 4 so far. Play fake. Knight now on the move. He has a man open, and he shot it right past Kirk. Incomplete. And maybe he was expecting Kirk to take off and head down the sideline.
Well, I think that's just one that Trevor Knight needs to just put on Christian Kirk. He was flushed a little bit, saw some pressure coming up the middle from Lewis Neal. Didn't really have a chance to get his feet set, but that's a throw that Trevor Knight certainly needs to make because Christian Kirk catches that. I think that's a first down, Texas A&M.
So that's a hold for the LSU defense. Tre'Davious White back to return. Tripucka end over end. And a fair catch. Signal White had to hustle up to get there. Made that catch at the 15-yard line. Guice the tailback. They'll give it to Guice. Get into that corner. Now cutting back middle. Couldn't quite keep his balance. Had a nice game. I'm sure he thought it could have been even a little bigger. So that is the end of the first quarter here in College Station. And the offense is, Jesse, on both sides doing some positive things. First drive for LSU was Guice, who took him right down the field in a long run for the first touchdown. And then Trevor Knight starting here after missing a couple of games. Perfect to Kirk. It's 10-7 LSU. Well, back here in College Station, you may have noticed on the bottom line, we sort of have a developing story as our game goes along here in College Station. Sources are telling ESPN.com that LSU has honed in on Tom Herman as its next permanent head coach. Apparently USA Today reporting there was a meeting today in Houston between LSU officials. We assume that means the athletic director and Tom Herman himself. No deal signed. But Jesse, that would obviously be huge news for Coach O, for LSU, for the SEC, for college football.
No doubt about it. And name Tom Herman, a guy that's earned that right to get that kind of attention because of the success he's had in these last 2 years.
So much of the speculation around Herman on third down. Nice pass, complete for a first down. Russell Gage with the catch.
You see Joe Aleva, the AD of LSU right there. You know, you think about Tom Herman and what he's done, the impact he's had at Houston, making that team nationally relevant, taking them to a New Year's Six bowl game last year, obviously with some big wins this season against Oklahoma and Louisville. I think another reason why that's a great fit, though, is because of his offensive prowess. No matter where he's been, at Rice, Iowa State, Ohio State, certainly at Houston, that's been the issue at LSU here for years.
Guice with the big hole and spinning forward, still not going down. That'll be an LSU first down. There is Guice with a nice tough run for the Tigers. The point that I was making about Tom Herman also is so much of the speculation about him has been focused in on Texas. So I do think that news will come as a surprise to a lot of Longhorn fans who are assuming that they're going to have a coaching change. That's not official yet.
But also, it's a domino if it happens that falls that potentially sets up other dominoes to fall too. If in fact big programs like Texas, Oregon, Notre Dame potentially, if those head coaching vacancies open, what happens next?
Etling throwing the ball on first down. He's got a receiver open, caught into Texas A&M territory. So the pass complete for a nice gain. That is D. Anderson.
Yeah, he's a guy that's been getting a lot more playing time here in recent weeks. He's kind of a physical specimen at 6'5", 200 pounds, big body. And Danny Etling's been attacking the perimeter of the field in this game so far. He's allowing these tall receivers running these 12-yard, 15-yard curl and comeback routes against single coverage, and they've had success off of the play action.
Good balance for the LSU offense so far. First down, another carry for Guice and another big hole. With the official kind of in the way, and it didn't stop Guice, who's still going, finally tripped up at about the 21.
He's just got tremendous feet and the ability to cut laterally. He's got a great jump cut move. This play starts to the right. There's great movement up front by the LSU offensive line, and then the patience and vision to see the cutback. And those legs get churned. People just can't seem to get number 5 down on the ground. Leonard Fournette used to try and run through people. This guy prefers to run around you.
Walt Hill, the umpire, a little too close for comfort there. Last 4 plays for LSU, 4 first downs. Guice straight ahead inside the 20.
We're starting to see these safeties from Texas A&M. They're creeping up closer and closer to the line of scrimmage to try and add bodies to tackle Darius Guice and these LSU running backs. What that's going to do is start opening up play action shot opportunities down the middle of the field into the post area for Danny Etling to take advantage of.
We're just a couple minutes into the second quarter. Guice already up to 111 yards on the ground. Dupree in motion. Guice gets the carry. Close, but I think stopped a little bit short of the first down.
But it's a nice bounce back game too for Darius Guice. We talked about the red zone and goal line issues that LSU had last week against Florida. He had a fumble down in the red zone, then ran the wrong way on the final play of the game on 4th down on that last stop by the Gators. So he was certainly a guy you knew that wanted to get back on the field and make amends for that. Without Leonard Fournette, Darius Guice already off to a very fast start.
3rd and 1. The fullback J.D. Moore in front of Guice. 2 tight ends. And they give it to the fullback who fumbles the ball. It's on the ground at the 15. Another red zone mistake for LSU. It just keeps happening.
Man, this is something they've been doing a lot more recently. The fullback dive to J.D. Moore, just not a clean exchange on the handoff between he and quarterback Danny Etling. That's twice now we've seen the ball on the ground. We see a bad snap earlier in the first quarter down in their own end. And now another miscue, 2 red zone trips. Not been able to come away with a touchdown just yet.
Delahousse sets up for the field goal try, 32-yard attempt. And it is good. Well, you wonder if LSU second guesses themselves. Why not just give it to number 5 again? He's been gashing the Aggies. Instead, the sloppy exchange to the fullback forced the field goal try. It's 13-7 Tigers. Interim head coach Ed Orgeron is 4-2 at the helm with LSU. And who knows even if Coach O knows about all the news swirling around this LSU program tonight. Tom Herman, apparently a deal is in place, not signed, but they've zeroed in on the Houston head coach as their next head coach, and we could have some news as early as Saturday to make that official. That's what we're hearing. Ed Orgeron, who has been so passionate and so frank about his desire to be the permanent head coach. Christian Kirk, not Justin Evans, back to take the kickoff, and Kirk ran into his own man at the 15. It goes down. Now let's see how aggressive A&M is. They're going to hand the ball off, and it's a short gain on first down. With the clock moving, Aggies have 2 timeouts.
You wonder if LSU, with 2 timeouts in their back pocket, if they'd want to start using those and see if they can get Danny Etling maybe one more try. Remember, LSU received the ball first, so an opportunity here, time slipping away for Coach O, maybe to generate some more points before going in at halftime.
Well, the total yardage totally lopsided in favor of LSU. The score is not so. Both teams appear to be willing to be very conservative. Williams once again. He's got the ability to take one a long way. He got stopped across the first down mark. Now the ball comes out and there was no whistle blown. And was there a whistle blown? The officials are saying touchdown.
I think Devin White stripped this football before Travion Williams hit the ground. Devin White, we talked about the true freshman middle linebacker taking over for Kendall Beckwith. He rips that out before Travion Williams comes down.
Wow.
Watch this again. This is an unbelievable play. Forget calling timeouts to get the ball back for your offense when you're going to create opportunities like this on D. Watch the right hand on the ball, rips it out well before Travion Williams is down.
Now, I think White is down himself.
He is.
So I think the officials were confused, and they are going to review it. And this touchdown's going to be coming back. But to your point, the turnover's going to stand.
Yeah, and I like the fact that the referees let the play finish itself out, because this is why you can always go back. You could review it again and then spot the ball if, in fact, the defensive player was down. There's so many other times they blow the whistle early. The defender's not yet down. They go score a touchdown. But you can't make it right. What a play by Devin White.
You got plenty of time with those 2 timeouts. Etling under center. Play fake. He's looking to take one to the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for the tight end Jeter. I think they wanted to go toward that end zone. Second down.
Nice job of Texas A&M staying home. What a win this would be for the Aggies defensively now. Kevin Sumlin. Again, sudden change situation. Backs against the wall to try and minimize the bleeding and force a field goal.
It would be huge. A&M, they were just trying to run out the clock, basically. Handed the ball off, and that turnover, what a great play by that kid. 2nd and 10. A little shoulder fake toward the corner of the end zone. It is caught. Touchdown. Malachi Dupree, and LSU does take advantage.
I love the play call by Steve Ensminger, and finally they take that shot outside to Malachi Dupree, who has the ability to go downtown, and it's a double move outside, working against Priest Willis 24. Watch, little curl and go, perfectly thrown ball by Danny Etling. What a talent Malachi Dupree is, a guy that can play in the slot, but can also play outside, and good speed. There's the shot play they needed off of play action to really pay that takeaway off.
Extra point coming. Man, just a tremendous turn of events in this last minute of the first half. Extra point up and good. So that makes it halftime. And an excellent half for LSU on the road with a 20-7 lead. We'll hear from Coach O with Laura in a moment. But first, we'll send you back to Adnan in the studio.
Thanks, Coach. You were concerned with how Trevor Knight could change this game. How has your defense handled him so far?
They did a good job. He beat us on a couple of third downs. He's an excellent player. We've got to keep on playing.
You're just a few days removed from the loss to Florida. How has your team responded in this first half?
Great. We took the opening drive, went down the field. They played great. I'm proud of them. We have 60 minutes to play.
All right, thank you.
Go Tigers.
Excellent first half for the Tigers of LSU. They lead the Aggies 20-7 as we start quarter number 3. Trevor Knight and the Aggies will be getting the ball first in the third quarter. There's a lot on the line for this A&M team. They still have a realistic chance to be the SEC representative in the Sugar Bowl, assuming Alabama goes to the playoff, which is maybe not 100% certainty, but close to it. So there is a lot on the line for A&M. Kirk, the kick return. Christian Kirk out into the open, and Kirk's still going. Cuts it back in and into LSU territory. So that's a nice start for the Aggies out of the locker room.
Texas A&M did a nice job setting up a wall along the right side for Christian Kirk to run in behind. He had Keith Ford at running back, number 7, out in front of him. One good block, another good block up the sideline, and good patience by Kirk, letting blocks set up. Looks like he was able to keep his feet in bounds the entire time before a tackle by Devin White brings him down.
Now, he did limp off the field. Yeah, he's definitely hurting looking at that right knee. The typical kick return man, Justin Evans, has been banged up himself, so they put Kirk back there. And that was a huge return, 66 yards. To give A&M great field position. Ford straight ahead running on
Christian Kirk, it goes without saying, obviously a guy they can't afford to lose, both in the return game on special teams, but also on offense. And I just mentioned they got to be more efficient throwing the football, and it's hard to do that when the SEC's leading receiver, obviously not in the game, and their most dynamic playmaker in the slot isn't out there.
So 2nd and 4. I mean, people are still getting back into their seats here as we start the second half, and A&M's got a chance to feel a whole lot better about things. Williams gets the carry. He had the very costly fumble right near the end of the first half.
It's a hard LSU defense to run against because of the size of this D-line. They are big and athletic. They can eat up blocks, which allows linebackers like Duke Riley and Kendall Beckwith up until last week, and Jamal Adams to kind of clean that up. LSU also has a lot of depth. They can rotate a lot of fresh bodies in to keep themselves fresh and rolling. You see 115 yards they were only giving up on the season.
3rd and much longer. Downfield, it is a jump ball and incomplete. Reynolds came down with the ball, but he was driven out of bounds, so no catch.
Yeah, Reynolds was about 3 yards in bounds when Savion Smith and the safety John Battle make contact with them. Nothing came down inbounds. Nothing touched the pylon. Nothing. Good speed and closing ability by LSU on the outside. That was a good throw by Trevor Knight to give his receiver Josh Reynolds an opportunity to give the secondary of LSU a lot of credit. Now setting up a bomb attempt, field goal for Daniel LaCamera.
This would be his longest of the year, 49 yards. Would be his career long if he kicks it through. Aggies are desperate for points. Good snap and hold, and this kick is right down the middle. So I don't think that's what A&M was hoping for, but at the very least, they turned that kick return into 3 points.
Yeah, and a way to generate some momentum here coming out of the tunnel at halftime, something positive.
We're hearing all kinds of different stuff centered around Houston's excellent young head coach Tom Herman. Is he the man for LSU? Is there a deal? Is there not a deal? There's no indication that there's any formal agreement yet, but it seems like the Tigers have honed in on Tom Herman, and they're going to try to get something done, and all that hovering above the proceedings tonight, where LSU, in spite of all of it, has played very well. They lead by 10, and they'll get the ball for the first time in the second half. Guice gets the carry, and right away, straight ahead running for about 8.
Now, that's a great point you make, Dave. LSU, this is one of the best jobs in the country because of, I think, the most important thing, how they can recruit. You see there are more NFL players on 53-man rosters, none more than the Tigers. There's more NFL talent per capita in LSU than most other places. And whoever the next head coach is at LSU, they have no in-state competition to get those guys.
Quickly to the line, Guice will get the first down.
LSU also has tremendous resources, tremendous facilities, an outstanding fan base, and I think all of that helps make it easy for a guy like Tom Herman coming from Houston, where it's difficult right now to win a national championship and compete for it as a Group of 5 conference team. Now, the problem with going to LSU is you're in the SEC West. It's the toughest division in all of college football, where Nick Saban lives. And that does make it, in my opinion, more difficult to win national championships than a lot of other places.
Slant on first down, completion for about 8 yards. Russell Gage had an early drop. He's played well since then. Trying to keep that streak alive, 8 or more wins in 16 straight years. Only Boise State, not even Alabama, has done better than that.
Well, and that's an interesting point too. Les Miles' success has raised such a bar of expectation for the next head coach, whoever it is at LSU. 9-win seasons is not going to make a lot of LSU fans happy because of how good they've been here recently.
Guice takes the pitch, hole up the middle. Guice into A&M territory, down to the 45.
Good idea here early in the second half, getting the football back into Darius Guice's hands, that time out of an offset high formation, just running downhill. Will Clapp, the left guard, pulling, getting an extra big body at the point of attack. And again, good patient running by Guice, allowing these holes to open up before putting his foot in the ground and getting north.
Straight ahead running has been tremendous for LSU in this one. Guice, another one of those little pitch plays, and again straight ahead for a big gain and more to the 20. Guice, touchdown. His second long touchdown run of this game, 45 yards, and John James can't believe it.
And fantastic movement off the ball. They got a great block by their right tackle, Toby Weatherby. Watch 66 right here get Hardrick Walker and just push him back in the second level. Creates a huge hole. They pull the left guard again. Tight end gets into the second level, and there's the speed. What makes, I think, Darius Guice so special. For a guy as physical as he is, if he gets out, I mean, he's gone. No one can touch him. No one can catch him.
You pointed out early in the game, Chark, the wide receiver, had a big block on the first long touchdown run. That time, Malachi Dupree was out in front, helping clear the way for number 5. No Leonard Fournette, and LSU, I mean, it's hard to say they haven't missed him, but how good has he been? Darius Guice, his second long touchdown run. Tigers lead by 17. Well, the interim head coach Ed Orgeron of LSU told us yesterday, I promise you our guys are going to come out ready to play, and they have, getting his team and his defense fired up on the sideline. And a botched kick return, ball on the ground. Did A&M avoid disaster?
They did. Keith Ford and Travion Williams couldn't decide who was going to field this. See kind of Keith Ford, he's off to the side, and then Travion Williams kind of runs up. Ball comes loose, and after the collision there by Nacho, the ball popped out again, and it was kind of a heads-up play by Travion Williams, a true freshman, who fumbled at the end of the first half, dive back in there and try and get hold of it.
Well, just barely. Keith Ford held on to the ball. I mean, A&M, there's so much time left in this game. You don't want to say that could have done him in.
Watch this. Watch as Williams kind of jumps on it there. The ball's out again. He kind of reaches out, grabs for it, and then Keith Ford dives in. Then it's just a scrum.
Well, now the Aggies offense has to come to life, and we'll see if Trevor Knight can help make that happen. It's been a long time since they've even had a first down, and even that was not clean. Keith Ford, though, makes something out of it across the 30, close to the 35.
Yeah, you know, the interesting thing, LSU's done a good job taking away the zone read runs by Trevor Knight, so it's had to be more conventional running inside with Keith Ford. He's done a good job with that. He just looks at home when he's running in between the tackles.
First and 10 Aggies. Again, still a long way to go in this game. Ford straight ahead, sneaks through, got tripped up inside the 40 to the 38.
Trevor Knight's running ability helps open up lanes for these running backs because defenses, they have to respect his ability to maybe run this way and keep the football. He's going back and watching that bubble throw to Christian Kirk.
Now Knight trying to get away and goes backwards. So instead of throwing it away, he takes a 2-yard loss. It was going to be 3rd and 2. It's 3rd and 4.
Yeah, this LSU defense, I just think, has done a nice job just kind of staying at home and forcing Trevor Knight to hand the football off. If they're going to get beat on the ground, it's not going to be by number 8. Good news getting Christian Kirk back on the field now for Texas A&M. 3rd downs throughout the majority of the year. He's been their go-to guy. He's lined up here in the slot.
A&M has been trying to go more high tempo on 3rd and 4, slowing it down a little bit. The throw into coverage and almost intercepted. Probably should have been. White can't believe it.
Yeah, Tre'Davious White is a finalist for the Thorpe Award, not only because he has excellent hands and covering ability, but he's a student of the game. He did a great job this time with his eyes, reading the inside route, anticipating the outbreaking route by Christian Kirk. He jumped all over that, and he knows he missed a huge opportunity, and I think Dave Aranda does too. 4th down, 4th and 4. Texas A&M staying on the field. You've got a key on Christian Kirk. They might use him in motion, trying to clear him up. Here they go.
The worst 4th down team in college football. That's kind of hard to believe. Immediate pressure on Knight, who will throw incomplete. And he just had no chance on that play. Bauer was right into the backfield.
But Jamal Adams at safety makes the play. Phenomenal job on coverage. In motion, Christian Kirk crosses the formation. Adams right there. There was nowhere to go on the wheel stop route. LSU comes up big again defensively.
They have so many students who come to these home football games in College Station. Some of them are a little ways away from the playing field. A lot of them are down close. But Adams and the LSU defense right now taking the crowd out of the game. And Texas A&M's defense now needs to step up. LSU up by 17 with 9:28 to go in the 3rd quarter. In good field position after stopping the Aggies on 4th down, going downfield deep, and it is caught. Incomplete though. Out of bounds by Chark.
Well, that was close. DJ Chark got behind the corner, Nick Harvey, for Texas A&M. Maybe a little bit too much air on this throw. He's working himself to the boundary.
Wow. I don't know.
Yeah, that's good. They're going to want to take a look at that again. I think the question was, were both feet in the air when he first had control of this ball? Wow. That is super close. I'm so surprised close. They're not looking at that again.
And they are gonna. And they should.
After review, the ruling is that the receiver had possession of the football with 1 foot down at the 21-yard line. 1st and 10.
Coach O likes it.
He does. He should. Tremendous play. Really on both ends, but particularly by DJ Chark.
We've seen more shots off of play action here as the game's gone on. There was that touchdown pass to Malachi Dupree at the end of the 1st half, and now in a one-on-one matchup with your fastest wide receiver, DJ Chark, against the secondary. It's very banged up. Danny Elling now starting to let it fly.
39-yard completion. Guice in the backfield after the call overturned. Handoff Guice. And finally somebody gets him to the ground. Nice tackle for the Aggies.
Dwayne Thomas flying in the backfield from the linebacker spot. This time Darius Guice, he's trying to cut this back. They've had success running these zone stretch plays out to the right-hand side of that offensive line. Really good instincts and aggressive play that time by Dwayne Thomas. I've seen a lot of plays made in the backfield tonight for this Aggie defense. They've been so good at that all year. 98 tackles for loss coming in tonight. That was 2nd most in the country.
Number 2 in the country. The LSU has blocked him well. The last one lost a yard. Etling, a quick hitter, left side. Dupree will get to the 1st down and more. Diving for the pylon, but he stepped out of bounds. He thinks he got in, but they're going to rule out of bounds at about the 6.
I think it's going to be about the 5.5-yard line. Watch the left foot right, or sorry, the right foot right there. Yep. Good eyes, Dave.
And they got it right.
Tell you, Texas A&M, they are completely loading the box now to try and stop this run. This was that pick your poison dilemma we talked about earlier in the game with John Chavis. It's setting up one-on-ones outside, and Danny Etling and these receivers are picking A&M apart.
And the red zone, which has been just a disaster for LSU. Guice, little shuffle move, touchdown, not this time. Almost untouched. Now there is a flag on the field.
After the play, a sportsmanlike conduct foul. Defense number 15. 15-yard penalty assessed on the kickoff.
I think that's
we'll have 1 on time down for the try.
I think that's frustrating.
That's number 15's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul.
This is a defense that's been getting the ball run down their throats. On this touchdown run by Guice, getting blocked by Deshaun Smith, and he just judo tosses him.
At the end, there might have even been something a little extra at the end of that got the flag thrown. Extra point is good. How about the LSU offense? And it's Myles Garrett again. Now, if he gets another one, he's out of the game.
Yeah.
frustration for number 15, who has not had a big impact on this game. LSU in total control. I think Tennessee's got to be happy with the way this game has unfolded. LSU up big now, 34-10. That helps the Vols' chances of ending up in that Sugar Bowl, New Year's Six bowl game. After the penalty against Myles Garrett, the unsportsmanlike penalty, LSU's kicking off from the 50. Gives you a few options. And they're going to just boot it through the end zone and take the touchback.
This team.
Knight pressured, gets rid of it, incomplete. And it really has, since Johnny Manziel left to go to the NFL. A lot of talented guys there, but it has not been a stable position for this program.
No, it hasn't. They've had a lot of guys move on. Kenny Hill at TCU now, Kyle Allen at Houston, Kyler Murray went to Oklahoma. Allen and Murray basically transferred in the same week. They were fortunate to get Trevor Knight in here sort of as a stopgap guy, and I think in a lot of ways he probably exceeded expectations here. There weren't a lot of people talking about Texas A&M at the start of the year, but because of the way Trevor Knight played, they were number 4 in the inaugural college football playoff ranking.
Williams with the carry for a short gain on second down. So 3 quarterbacks transferring out, 2 in. Both Hubenak and Knight came in from the outside, transferring in. Now Knight will be finished with his eligibility, and the search will be on for another quarterback for the Aggies.
And they've got a young true freshman that they're hoping to redshirt, Nick Starkel, who they believe is very special. They've got another quarterback coming in as well in the next class that they're high on. There's no shortage in that position, certainly in the state of Texas.
3rd and long. Knight across the middle. Noyle hangs on to this one. And now the speed of Speedy Noyle for the 35 of LSU.
Yeah, another bunch kind of set at the bottom of the screen. 4 wide receiver look, and Speedy Noyle able to run the slant route, run across the face of the true freshman Savion Smith. That's been a guy that Trevor Knight has been trying to attack.
Arden Key, you saw him not dressed on 2nd down and long. Williams straight ahead.
Which is an interesting point of discussion with Dave Aranda. Whoever the next head coach is, they're seriously going to want to consider retaining him. And another interesting wrinkle, Tom Herman at Houston and Dave Aranda were roommates in college at Cal Lutheran. Interesting.
So even though Todd Orlando and Tom Herman have become so closely connected, it would perhaps open the door to a very good coach who, in my opinion, should be a head coach sooner rather than later. Dave Aranda perhaps sticking around. Williams straight ahead, out into the open. 1 man to beat. Travion Williams, touchdown, end over end. Man, do the Aggies need that. 33 yards. Williams goes over 1,000.
Trevor Knight's running ability just froze 2 defenders for LSU, and that split-second hesitation, Spring Williams in the backfield. Watch these 2 defenders concerned about Trevor Knight keeping this football around the right side. They just freeze for a moment. That allows Williams to get north-south, and with that run, Travion Williams becomes the first true freshman Texas A&M Aggie to run for over 1,000 yards in a season.
First one in their program's history. Pretty spectacular way to do it. Extra point is up and good. So maybe that'll help make this a more competitive game. 34-17 to score. 5:04 to go. Maybe Trevor Knight and the Aggies are not done tonight. LSU playing without Leonard Fournette, playing without Kendall Beckwith, their outstanding linebacker. Their pass rusher, Arden Key. With rumors about Tom Herman. Is he the next guy? Is there a deal in place? Through all of that, LSU has really been fantastic. On the kick return here. Across the 20, tackled it around the 23-yard line. Nick Brosette. Etling, a little pump fake. On the move, throws, and a nice delivery on the move. That'll be a first down. The tight end, Colin Jeter.
And it's a good example, too, of Danny Etling just in the pocket and being able to kind of buy himself some time. Watch the running back, Darius Guice, get a cut block here on a defender who's already on the ground. That kind of gave Etling an opportunity to roll out to his right and keep his focus downfield. I think Etling does a very good job of that. When he's on the run scrambling, he's looking to make a play throwing the ball.
He's made LSU fans happy tonight. Etling's really played well. Nobody's been more spectacular than number 5. Add on to that total yardage for Darius Guice.
Yeah, lineman up front for LSU is doing a good job, but they've got tight ends and fullbacks doing a good job. Watch J.D. Moore here on Sean Washington, number 44. Just light up Washington, number 33, in the hole and allow a cutback opportunity for Darius Guice. Right now, LSU, they are imposing their will on Texas A&M. It's not just the offensive line.
Well, Washington leads this A&M team in tackles. A lot of the big names have been quiet for the Aggies, and credit LSU for that. Tigers first down.
And J.D. Moore right now is just a complete battery ram. That's second play in a row now. He runs right into Sean Washington. I've been impressed with J.D. Moore because he's kind of started the year as a guy that was just a lead blocker, and then all of a sudden they started throwing him some play action routes in the flat. In recent weeks, we've seen him get some fullback dives. Kind of do it all, and it makes them so much less predictable when they line up in the I formation. You don't always necessarily know it's going to the tailback.
A guy who started his career at LSU as a tight end. I think he found his home, though. He's got some of those ball skills, but he's turned into a heck of a fullback. They'll lead the way again. This time it is Williams, not Guice.
Texas A&M, they're putting more and more bodies close to the line of scrimmage. 8 guys that time at the line. And then there's one-on-one opportunities. If Steve Ensminger, the offensive coordinator for LSU, wants to try one of these play-action shot plays outside they've had some success with, and those opportunities are there.
LSU very content, I think, to let that clock roll.
Look at all these bodies right here up close.
I wonder if Etling is looking at that, making an adjustment to the call. We'll hand it off, though, to Williams. Close to the 30, stopped short of the 30.
There's Steve Ensminger, became the interim play caller. I think he's done a really nice job. I think he's been creative. He was creative with the way he was using Leonard Fournette. These last couple of weeks, some more fullback looks, letting him up at wide receiver, kind of the run pass options, ways to get receivers the ball quicker. He's added some wrinkles to this offense to kind of keep defenses a little bit more off balance. Here's a third and long situation we haven't seen in a while. We've got the offset back. Darrell Williams up here to the side of Myles Garrett.
Williams picks up the blitz up the middle and gave Etling time to complete the pass inside the 10. LSU first down.
Just kind of a corner route / smash route by the wide receiver at the top of the screen. And Russell Gage does a good job beating the true freshman Charles Oliver at cornerback across his face. Just calm demeanor in the pocket again for Danny Etling. No pass rush. This offensive line has done a very good job at the point of attack, getting movement, running the ball. They've been able to neutralize big number 15, Myles Garrett.
He's coming off the field. Justin Evans looked dinged up at the end of that play. He's had a rough night. Another really productive player, the senior, playing his last home game for the Aggies. So what an answer. We'll see if LSU can finish in the final minute of the third quarter. Guice back in the game. Guice, the stutter step move, so tough to bring down. It took 5 Aggies to get him to the ground.
Coven Henderson, number 92, he's been able to get penetration in the backfield, but because of the feet of Darius Guice, he's avoiding that first contact. Henderson has been winning the matchups with center Ethan Posick, but he just hasn't been able to finish the play. But he's obviously not the only one. We've seen Darius Guice making a lot of Aggie defenders miss tonight and all year.
Yeah, so finishing the play, LSU trying to finish what would really be, in a lot of ways, with all the stuff that's going on around this program right now, would really be an impressive win. 15 minutes to go. Guice and LSU leading 34-17. Is this the biggest student section in college football? I think it is. I think there are more students who come to these games than any other program. Tremendous support for A&M, but struggling tonight. They give it to Chart. Touchdown LSU on the first play of the fourth quarter. And another wrinkle from the Tigers offense that has just been spectacular.
Yeah, Steve Ensminger's done a nice job in recent weeks, really all year, trying to get DJ Chark the football. Normally it's on reverses. Saw it about 3 times against the Florida Gators last week. There's a good job here on the jet sweep. They're oftentimes faking this and turning around and handing it off to Guice. Texas A&M defensively were not prepared for that. And again, DJ Chark, the fastest receiver LSU has. Good way to utilize his speed, get him to the perimeter.
9 plays, 77 yards, more than 5 minutes. And after the touchdown for A&M that made you feel like, hey, maybe the Aggies can still be in this game.
I think you and I kind of were on our way over to the stadium today just wondering what LSU team was going to show up. I mean, I was there at the stadium last week when they lost to Florida, and it was a crushing defeat the way they lost that game. And on a short week, you just never know if you're going to be able to completely turn the page. But Coach Orgeron told us yesterday, he always talks about finishing. They wanted to come in, win this game, obviously put themselves in the best bowl game scenario, but there are a lot of players on this sideline too that are playing for Coach O. A lot of guys on this team want Coach Orgeron to be their next head coach. That's impressive for a coach to be able to get this out of his guys. And that's a big reason why I've always said he needs to be in the conversation as the next head coach here.
That'll be a touchback. One thing that Ed likes to talk about, and it's true. I mean, he grew up in Louisiana. The kids, I mean, they understand and they get him. And he loves to use the line, I eat the same food they eat. I grew up just like they grew up. And I do think he's got a deep understanding of how football in that great state works. And amidst all of that, all the news swirling tonight about a meeting with Tom Herman earlier today, and LSU focusing on the Houston head coach to be their next permanent head coach. A&M with the ball here in the 4th quarter. Knight on the run. Trevor Knight, that's what he does so well. First down, Aggies.
You haven't been able to get him going in design quarterback runs or zone reads, so I like this idea by Trevor Knight here. You're down 41-17. You got to climb back in this thing. You know, take matters into your own hands. If nothing's open downfield, just take off. Trevor Knight took a big shot, by the way, on that shoulder at the end of that play.
17-yard gain. We'll see if he's okay. He hands it off to Keith Ford. Aggies do have to go quickly. I mean, time is not their friend in this game.
No doubt about it. And I think the strength of this offense is a wide receiver. You talk about the explosive playmaking of Christian Kirk in the slot. Josh Reynolds' home run making ability outside. Ricky Seals-Jones and his size over the middle of the field. These guys now got to step up and start making plays for their quarterback.
They have not played well tonight. I think that's fair to say. Second down. That one is caught. Now that was a good play. Nice catch on a low throw by Noyle.
Well, I think normally every week, if you're Trevor Knight, you feel like you've got a pretty favorable matchup somewhere across the board. You don't necessarily have to formate or shift in motion to get a guy open. You don't necessarily have a go-to guy. All these guys can win. You just got to let coverage dictate who gets the ball.
1st and 10, A&M into LSU territory. Play fake across the middle, and that one was juggled and dropped. And it's another example of a ball that should have been caught.
And that's your point. Frank Iannacho this time wide open on a slant route over the middle of the field. Kevin Sumlin can't believe it. Good throw by Trevor Knight, putting it right between the 1 and the 5. You got to catch it first before you can run, though. There have been a couple crucial drops. Trevor Knight hasn't always been pinpoint accurate, no doubt about that. But I do believe this wide receiver group has let him down a little bit.
Yeah, that's their 4th drop. I mean, that's always kind of a grip, but I think 4 clear drops tonight. A couple of real big ones by Noyle and Reynolds. Little swing pass to Kirk out of the open. There goes Christian Kirk. Sideline touchdown.
Christian Kirk went in motion. Nobody followed him. There was a bust on the back end at the safety position for LSU. And A&M just had LSU outflanked. They had 3 receivers out working 2. And just watch this at real-time speed, how quickly it takes Christian Kirk to get to the sideline. There's a reason that guy's taken 5 punts to the house in 24 games. Trevor Knight knows it. There's a big play from his most explosive playmaker helping him out.
You mentioned the other 2 receivers, Seals, Jones, and Reynolds, who have not played great games tonight, but helping with the blocking. And A&M is going for 2 with 13 plus to go.
Josh Reynolds here at the bottom of the screen, offset with some access. He's been a big weapon for them down in this area of the field.
Back shoulder throw, and it's good. 2 points, Speedy Noyle. So They had to go fast. They had to get to the end zone. And they did do that. Let's make sure that he had control on the 2-point try.
Back shoulder, nice throw by Trevor Knight. Wrestling the ball. There's a little bit of a wiggle, but I think he had it. And I think he had both feet down.
I do too.
Good coverage by Paris. He kind of trapped it against his body. Still kind of grabbing it. And after a couple feet down, ball wiggles a bit. No, that's a good 2-point conversion.
Aggies trying to hang in there, down 41-25.
And Dave, A&M right now down 16 points. They can't stop LSU from running the ball. At what point do you want to try and steal a possession? Maybe try an onside kick when LSU might not be expecting.
Well, let's see. At this time, the kick is into the end zone, and Guice thought about it, takes a knee. It'll be a touchback.
This is a look right here if you're LSU. I think you want to run into this.
They will, but Guice straight ahead, another big gain. Guice still didn't go down until finally an extra linebacker came and cleaned the play up.
Yeah, and Guice just basically ran right through Donovan Wilson, number 6. And again, he's one of many tonight in the secondary for Texas A&M that have not been able to bring down Darius Guice. Guice has gotten stronger, I would argue, as this game has gone on. I think that's one of the biggest compliments you can pay a running back.
We heard from Laura, still very early in the game from the sideline, how Guice was lobbying for more touches, 24 carries, 232 yards tonight. On the road against a team that's been a good defensive team. That throw is right there. Caught. Dupree out of bounds, just short of the first down.
And beautiful anticipation on the throw by Danny Etling. He throws this way before Malachi Dupree had even turned around. It's a quick play fake. There's no even hitch step. He just plants and gets rid of it. And you're throwing that catchable ball, right? It's not a laser that makes it hard for Malachi Dupree to locate once he comes out of his break. It's a soft ball that Malachi Dupree can turn around. It's floating out there, able to make the easy catch. Big reason why I think Danny Etling has been as efficient as he has been. Tonight, this is the best I've seen him play.
Second down and short. Guice will get the first down right to midfield. I mean, $480 million, that's a big number.
Well, these are the best facilities in football. I don't think just college football. I've had a chance to tour them extensively. I mean, they've got iPads in the squat racks in the gym. They've got marble bathrooms. They have a barber shop in their locker room, LED lights. There are very few recruits that can come on campus here and say no based upon all of that, and it hasn't necessarily translated in wins, certainly down the stretch here in recent years.
And it's got people around here anxious. Etling down the sideline. It is caught inside the 10. D. Anderson, another big play.
Yeah, just one-on-one opportunities with big wide receivers makes it difficult for the secondary. D. Anderson at 6'5". Look at the speed and the long strides. Running right by Deshaun Capers-Smith and being able to find the football, go up and make a tough catch, contested.
Just a true freshman. I have a feeling number 11 is going to be making a lot of plays for LSU.
I think I'd bring a blitz. If Myles Garrett can't get home because of double teams, you got to bring extra bodies.
Third and goal. Etling. Here finally comes the pressure. An attempt, and a great attempt. Touchdown. Russell Gage apparently got the foot down.
That's very similar to the play we saw earlier with DJ Chark down the boundary. At what point does Gage have possession of this football? Where is his feet? Looks like he has it clean there. Was he able to scrape that right toe inbounds? That's really, really close. Doesn't have it yet. Now he's got it.
Was a completed pass for a touchdown.
I think the right toe's in, but barely.
It's so similar to that other play we had where LSU did get the catch.
You know, give him credit also for those strong hands, because there's no bobble of the ball. I think it's going to help make it easier for the replay official to see exactly when he has possession and control.
Well, LSU apparently is going to go for 2 here to try to answer the Aggies. 47-25.
Trying to make it a 3-possession game.
Play fake, and that throw is incomplete. So no 2-point conversion. It'll stay 47-25. A tremendous play by Gage, by Edling. This LSU offense has been so impressive here on Thanksgiving. They lead in College Station big. Big, if you're joining us late, the reports really right as we were coming on the air of a meeting between LSU and Tom Herman in Houston, and zeroing in on Herman as LSU's choice to be their head coach, and hoping maybe to name Tom Herman the head coach as soon as Saturday. Counter reports from Houston saying they're not aware of that. They're preparing for the game tomorrow. Now Brett McMurphy, our own Brett McMurphy, hearing that Tom Herman's folks are still perhaps thinking that an offer could come from Texas, although Texas hasn't made a decision about Charlie Strong and his future. So, I mean, you got a lot going on with Herman at the center, two giant programs, and the future of those programs sort of hanging in the balance. All the while, LSU playing a heck of a game today.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Just with blinders on, came out here focused and putting in an A performance, really in all three facets of this game.
That pass complete, Speedy Noyle for an A&M first down. I mean, it really, there's an eeriness to this particular matchup. And last year, at the end of the regular season in Baton Rouge, and Les Miles and the decision that came after the game, I know the folks at LSU thought Les Miles was coaching his final game, perhaps, and he had sort of the send-off. His players carried him off the field. He forward for a big gain.
I want to give Texas A&M some credit because they're not shutting it down. A couple times now, LSU has opened up surmountable leads. Texas A&M's kept fighting too. I mean, they came back with a long touchdown by Christian Kirk the last drive. Kevin Sumlin, his players, they're still playing hard.
Keith Ford's up to 99 yards on the ground against a tough run defense of LSU. Maybe he got to 100. He might have gotten one there. It'll be second down. But anyway, I guess all of this will unfold in the next few days. I mean, it sounds like something's going to happen one way or another with Herman at the center of it all.
And affecting those two programs and maybe other programs that could have openings, other big programs around the country as well. This also affects Charlie Strong directly at Texas.
Knight to a throw, and that one is caught by Reynolds out into the open. Josh Reynolds, 7 straight games with a touchdown for him. You said it, the Aggies are just not going away.
No, that's the best throw I've seen tonight from Trevor Knight. This is an absolute rope. It's a slant to the wide side of the field. Josh Reynolds able to cross the face of the cornerback outside. I think it was Tre'Davious White. You don't see this very, very often. That's a Thorpe Award winner getting beat across his face and then run away from. It's amazing to think Josh Reynolds didn't have any D1 scholarship offers out of high school. Had to go to JUCO before transferring here to Texas A&M. What a season he's having.
Yeah, tremendous. A&M after the touchdown, going for 2 here. Down by 16. And they will hand the ball off. Keith Ford gets in. That's 2 more points for the Aggies to cut the lead to 14.
Give this offense a ton of credit. They've been different with Trevor Knight back in the lineup tonight. We talked about LSU defensively. They've given up 11 touchdowns coming into the night. They've already given up 4 today, and Texas A&M's been able to make some plays here in the 4th quarter in the passing game. And how about Keith Ford, the Oklahoma transfer? We talked about this probably being his style of game, needing to run downhill at the Tigers. Here's the onside kick try now by Texas A&M, trying to steal a possession.
I like it. You got to do it. 8:45 to go. What a hit. Man, huge hit by Ricky Seals-Jones, and somehow LSU and their special teams held on to the ball. Is that Xavier Lewis? My goodness.
This is one of the hardest things to do, I think, in a game. Onside kick, hands team. You know there's going to be someone free charging down the field to blow you up, and you're expected to make a catch in a difficult situation.
It was a legal hit.
That's Ricky Seals-Jones. It's a 240-pound wide receiver who can run. Dropping the hammer. Really nice job on that play.
It was a good call by the Aggies. Guice. No, they're not stopping him here. Darius Guice to the 30, to the 25, and finally out of bounds, close to the 20-yard line.
This is only a 14-point game. It's nowhere near over yet, but it feels so much worse than that because of how LSU is gashing Texas A&M. Nobody can tackle right now for the Aggies. They've done a poor job all game long, filling gaps. There's been hesitation and almost unwillingness to try and wrap up
number 5.
Second most yards on the ground in school history. Only Leonard Fournette has had a bigger game, and Guice is still going. He's up. Play clock, to your point, under 5. They'll snap it at 2 and give it to number 5. Guice inside the 5, down close to the 1. Stops short. It'll be 3rd and goal.
Yeah, and I think you keep going to that. I think you keep running to Myles Garrett's side. Their left tackle, KJ Malone, he's holding his own right now in the run blocking schemes. You've got a battering ram at fullback and JD Moore. That left side, that's where they were trying to go against Florida all game long. Down in the goal line situations, had poor blocking up front. That left side of the offensive line for LSU in this scenario, they've got to execute.
Good management of the clock here for the Tigers. Guice, touchdown. His 4th of the night. A monster performance for Darius Guice.
Watch the block by the fullback, JD Moore, taking on Donovan Wilson, who wants no part of this. This is a business decision by Wilson. Watch this. Watch number 6 take on the fullback. It's just physical domination. They've done it every year that Texas A&M has been in the SEC. All 5 games, they've been able to run the football at will against the Aggies.
So if we were to update that drive chart, would that be 5 drives, 5 touchdowns since halftime? I mean, it has been domination by Guice and the LSU offense on the road off the tough loss to Florida. What a night for the Tigers. The SEC is going to fill a slot in the Sugar Bowl, and that is still very much to be determined. There are a lot of teams watching this game very closely who still have a chance. And who knows, maybe an outside chance still for LSU, even with 4 losses, to be the highest ranked team behind Alabama in the SEC. A&M, Kirk gets hit hard and gets out close to the 20-yard line. We've been watching. That scene has repeated itself over and over on the sideline these last few minutes. Jake Hubenak, who I mean, he's not 100%, the junior.
Didn't get a lot of practice reps. Hurt his AC joint in his shoulder also against Ole Miss a few weeks ago. Didn't practice at all last week. Played the game against UTSA, played well. Here he is now late in the game, getting some snaps in another week where he has not had a lot of throws.
A record-setting performance tonight for Darius Guice with no Leonard Fournette. I mean, LSU was down so many key players, but number 7 would be at the top of any list. And yeah, Darius Guice was just tremendous. Hubenak's going to throw. Shoulder looks pretty good. In stride, Speedy Norrell for the big game.
I think it says a lot about a team that doesn't quit. See Trevor Knight still cheering his team on here. Speedy Norrell outside. That was Hubenak's favorite target against Ole Miss a few weeks ago. Did a nice job at the line of scrimmage, beating Dante Jackson, completing the go route.
He's still cheering his teammates on. Who would have figured after that 48-yard catch, 445 yards of offense for A&M, and basically getting blown out at home against one of the top statistical defenses in the country. Kirk has been responsible for plenty of yards. Got wrestled down there after a gain of 1. 2 different 100-yard receivers, Noyle and Kirk. A 100-yard rusher in Ford. But Edling and the LSU offense, too much. Final minute. Hubenak takes a hit. Incomplete.
There's Tayshawn Bauer. You mentioned Darius Guice and how he's filled in for Leonard Fournette. How about Tayshawn Bauer and how he filled in for Arden Key? You know, he doesn't necessarily have a ton of sacks tonight, but he's been disruptive, and he's been messing up the timing between Texas A&M's quarterbacks. Arden Key, only a true sophomore, good news for LSU. He can't enter the draft yet, but he's another guy that's going to be top half of the draft taken next year.
Yep. How about that? 87 points, over 1,000 total yards, 46 first downs between these two teams. Across the middle. I thought should have been caught. Incomplete. It's 4th and 9. As Ricky Seals-Jones had a catch, not one. Not one catch tonight.
Been very difficult for Texas A&M down the field tonight. A lot of their completions kind of underneath short throws. Receivers have had to make something happen after the catch.
Could be the final play for the Aggies. That throw, and maybe got away with a push-off, but it's a completion, and down inside the 5-yard line for the senior, Ed Pope.
Maybe a little bit of push with that left hand against Tre'Davious White. Throw route. Jake Hubenek's come in without a lot of reps, and he's looked pretty good throwing it.
Jamal Adams played well tonight, the safety for LSU. That one a slant and incomplete. Noyle had it knocked away by Dante Jackson. Well, it's all just cosmetic at this point, but remember, LSU's defense total, now they played 10 games before tonight, total had allowed 11 touchdowns on the year. It's an astounding number. In their 4 losses, what have they given up? 3 combined touchdowns?
Yeah, think about that.
In their losses. 2nd and goal. That one is incomplete again. Knocked away.
Yeah, Tre'Davious White gave up a slant, touchdown. Josh Reynolds, a few possessions ago, right here doing a nice job climbing the ladder with Pope. It's a 6'4" wide receiver, swatting that away.
A handoff. And well, the reach out at the end there, close, and it's a touchdown. I would expect that they're going to look at this one. James White, at the last second, he can kind of see the ball poke through there.
Keeping his legs churning. A nice job by this offensive line, continuing to push. It looked like Damon Gottschalk had White kind of stuck. Line of scrimmage, you see Bauer kind of cornering for his legs, and just that last little surge forward. Yeah, stuck the football out. Did he do it before his knees touched the ground?
I don't think he was down.
His knees aren't down yet. You can see that they're actually on top of Tayshawn Bauer.
I think he's on top of the defender, and I think the ball crossed the plane to the goal line. It's a touchdown. So they're going for 2. Toward Ricky Seals-Jones, incomplete. It doesn't really matter in terms of the final result. Still startling. 30. You just could not have believed if they scored 39 against this LSU defense that A&M would be walking out of this stadium so disappointed.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And it's just something that's going to have to change for Texas A&M moving forward. Got to get better.
They are going to attempt an onside kick. That one will be recovered by LSU. There is a flag down.
I think Texas A&M may have been offsides.
So that won't matter. 42 total points in the 4th quarter. I bet the LSU players are going to show some affection for their, we call it interim head coach. To them, it's their head coach when this game is officially over. He should smile. Just a crushing loss last week. What a bounce back. And that will do it. Well, all the questions. Is that the last game for Ed Orgeron as the head guy at LSU? 5-2 since being named the head coach. And I don't think any performance more impressive, all things considered, than this one here tonight.
Yeah, I think when you consider all the different key players that were injured and out, when you consider the way they lost against Florida and what that loss meant to them, their postseason, for Darius Guice, Danny Etling, and these guys to all come out playing on fire. It was impressive, no doubt about it.
Let's hear from Coach O with Laura Rutledge on the field.
All right, thank you, Dave. And Coach, you had so many key players out tonight. How were guys on both sides of the ball able to step up and win this one?
You know, great job by offense. We came out, we wanted to be the most physical team. We did it. We're disappointed. That was uncharacteristic with our defense, but we won the game as a team. I'm most proud of that.
Darius Guice setting a single-game rushing record at LSU with 285 yards. You're smiling about it. What would you have to say about his performance?
I'm just so happy for Darius, man. He just worked hard all week in the offensive line. What a great performance.
You said that you would watch this game with LSU and A&M when you weren't here and you were coaching elsewhere, and you wished you were here. So now you've won the game. How does that feel?
Great feeling. I was so happy for our players, our coaches, and our Tiger family.
What can you say about Danny Ettling's performance?
Great. He's a warrior, man. He's a competitor. He managed the game well. We're proud of him.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
Go Tigers.
Hard not to kind of root for that guy. And let's see if he gets drenched. Yeah, you can kind of see that one coming. It's a Thanksgiving ice bath for Ed Orgeron. LSU Tigers, what an impressive night for them. Their 7th win of the year. What could have been for this LSU team? 54-39 in College Station. LSU gets the win. For Jesse Palmer, for Laura Rutledge, Dave Fleming saying so long and happy Thanksgiving. Sports Center coming up next.